I've had some people bring up about water shortage in St. Kitts. There's not really a water shortage. It depends on the way you have your water. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. There's three ways you can have your water brought into your house. You can either have a well, you can have a water truck that comes in, have a tank, or you can have city water. And sometimes you have a choice, sometimes you don't. But if you don't have city water, you can get the other pulled in. Most people have the city water brought in. Now, I want to tell you something about the city water and how it works here. There is a St. Kitts can have some drought periods. It's not like Panama or Trinidad where you've got real monsoon heavy rains. We do have heavy rains here, but we don't have like a monsoon season where you have just tons of rain that comes down, other than maybe if there's a hurricane or tropical storm, okay? So a lot of people, when they come here, what you'll find out, and they didn't do this as much several years back as they're doing it now. I think it depends on the government that's actually in office at the time and how they view the water situation. But they literally cut the water off. Depending on where you're at in the country, Frigate Bay, I'm going to tell you about Frigate Bay. They literally cut it off anywhere from, it runs from 9:30 to 12 o'clock at night. And they don't do this all the time. It's not like, 365 days a year. But they do that, okay? And you get a warning where the water just kind of starts slowly coming out. And you know what's happening is they're going to be cutting off the water pretty soon. And when they cut it off, it doesn't come back on until about I'd say around 4:30 or 5 o'clock the next morning. So now there's ways you can get around this. One is you can either have a tank and have water truck brought in. Another way you can do it is all houses in St. Kitts, they're required by law to have a cistern. Okay, and the cistern tank, I've got one in my house, okay, and they require you to have that. Now, once you have a cistern, you drop little tablets in there, and what it does is it keeps it clean. And what it does is it collects rainwater, okay? So if that comes about, and similarly you got with a generator, okay, electricity goes off here. Most of your major subdivisions, you don't even know the electricity is going off because the generator cuts on as soon as the electricity goes off. So sometimes you don't even, it's just your lights go off, then they come back on. And it's not the electricity that's come back on, it's the generator that's come on. And development I've got, it's just an automatic thing, so you don't even know it. Now, if you're buying a house that's not in a subdivision, you'd have to get your own generator. But that's the way it works. But it's not really you hear more complaints about it. I mean, you can solve the problem by doing one of those three things. Now, they don't have a desalinated water, and they could do that. The water would be a lot more expensive if they did have that. That's where they use the ocean water, and they desalinate it. But to do that is a lot more expensive than getting water traditionally. The three ways that I told you. So the government has pulled away from doing that. I think a lot of people would get pissed off if they did it. Dubai has it that way, but I'm going to tell you something. Desalinated water is really bad. Man, it's parts per million is through the roof. I got a water tester, and I used to test water because I've had kidney stones, and so I test the water pretty good. And I'll tell you something, desalinated water, you can get it 500, 600 parts per million. You need to get it down. I've got a zero water filter here that knocks everything out. It gets to zero. You don't distill water, you don't even get that low. So That's one way you can get around it, though, is by getting, like I said, either have a cistern put in your house, and you don't even have to put it in. They're required by law to have them. So some people just don't want to mess with them, because once you start adding water to it, most cisterns, not all of them, it's very difficult to get to them. They're literally put in your house. I got one in my house. You can't even see where it's at. I know where it's at, but you can't actually see the cistern. There's like a hole you drop the tablet in to keep it, the water clean. But once you do that, you're going to have to do it over and over again to do that. So I just never have messed with it. And but those are, some things that people have heard about the water shortage here. We do have, like I said, this time of year it can get kind of dry. Now it will pick up as time goes on, because we're actually in the tropical hurricane season, so we have more, storms and stuff like that. But it's part of living in the Caribbean. There's ways around it. Like I said, you just do the things I just mentioned, and you won't have a problem with it. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport, as quick as 45 days. Do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen. You get new videos automatically as they come out. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. All right, now, you're not going to have everything perfect. Like I said, you got no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. You're not going to get any better than that. It's got everything you want here. If you're a big libertarian like me, I don't think you're going to find any place in the world that's as good as this. It's not a perfect place, but like I said, this is a great place if you're real conservative and you want a situation where you're able to control your taxes quite a bit. This is the perfect way to do it. Now, like I said, water, if you've got it through the city, it's going to run you about $7 US a month. That covers you up. You can't exceed that, but you have to use a lot of water to do that. And that's incredibly cheap, and California is a lot higher than that, no comparison. Your other utilities, internet's just right around 40 US, high speed. And you've got your other bills like electricity. My electricity bill runs me like around, anywhere from 30 to 60 US a month. You don't even need heating and air conditioning, either one of them here. Anyway, these are some things I would be thinking about. If you're coming here, you're gonna have to get used to maybe a couple of changes and stuff, but you can adjust to it. But we don't have like a bad water problem. It's there's always a way around it. You just gotta, use one of the things I just told you, and you'll solve your problem. Again, if you want to learn more on this, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and don't forget, hit the subscribe button. We got over 700 videos, and I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Take care.